Lu Sheng stands among the group in the ruins of battlefield. Lu Sheng questions whether it's possible that someone named Cumberland is still alive. Marshal Saint confirms his suspicion. Marshal Saint explains that the evil faction attacked and defeated the sacred Marshal Saint. Instead of killing him, they imprisoned him aboard a heavily fortified spaceship. Unfortunately, their group doesn't have the power to break through its defenses. Lu Sheng raises his hand with a calm expression. Flames ignite around his arm. With a single motion, Lu Sheng releases a devastating energy strike. Red beams blast through the massive spaceship as shocked onlookers, including Marshal Saint, watch in awe from behind. As the dust settles, Lu Sheng looks at his hand and casually comments that the spaceship's armor was tough, but still manageable. He turns toward the others and instructs them to focus on rescuing people. With a relaxed smile, he walks away, telling Marshal Saint he has something else to take care of. A crowd watches in awe as Lu Sheng takes off, leaving behind a blazing trail of blue and red flames. They respectfully bid him farewell as he ascends into the sky with overwhelming speed. Lu Sheng bursts through like a missile, surrounded by intense energy. He travels far beyond Earth, leaving a glowing arc of energy in the vast galaxy. Hovering in space, Lu Sheng calmly assesses his strength. He realizes that his current power has already reached an astonishing level. Judging by the enemy's capabilities, he estimates their highest combatants likely do not exceed level 11. Lu Sheng floats calmly in space, reflecting on the sudden surge in his power. Even he admits he can no longer accurately gauge how strong he has become. Closing his eyes, he remarks how breathing is unnecessary in space. For someone like him, it has become more of a habit than a necessity. He notes that habits can be changed, just like quitting smoking or drinking. His body has evolved, he shed the limitations of humanity and stepped into an entirely new tier of existence. Standing above Earth, Lu Sheng feels the boundless universe welcoming him. He realizes he can now absorb cosmic energy freely and unleash his powers to their full potential without restraint. Lu Sheng suddenly senses something. His expression sharpens as a surge of intense energy begins surrounding him. A massive eruption of violet energy bursts from the distance. The energy wave continues expanding violently through space, engulfing everything in its path. In response, a brilliant golden figure begins to emerge, radiating intense heat and divine light. An entity or form summoned to counter the overwhelming attack. A radiant figure appears in full form, glowing with immense golden energy. Lu Sheng smirks confidently. He explains that this is his first 9th grade divine manifestation. While its exact type isn't important, he's satisfied with its destructive effectiveness. As the glowing being floats above Earth, Lu Sheng imagines the terror it would bring, like a colossal divine palm crashing down from the heavens. He jokes that maybe one day, he'll be admired like those elegant celestial deities. Lu Sheng calls out to the space pirates, warning them to arrive soon and preferably be 11th level warriors, otherwise, they'll be overwhelmed. Lu Sheng casually summons dark purple energy in his hand. He commenting that fighting like this is starting to feel boring. He smirks, comparing the battle to a human swatting a mosquito, pointless and unsatisfying. He thoughtfully reminds himself to use this downtime to reorganize and examine the priceless seed his master had gifted him earlier. He opens his palm toward the stars, revealing the glowing seed, the seed of the material universe. On a distant desert planet rich in ancient civilization, at the foot of the pyramid, a large group of people kneel in worship, their heads bowed low in submission. Inside the palace, a flamboyant man floats in mid-air using purple energy. He casually snacks on food and sips wine. He adjusts his glasses and asks smugly if what's been presented to him is everything. A courtier bows deeply before the man in glasses, respectfully stating that everything in the royal treasury has already been handed over. The anxious king tries to explain that the treasures they offered took over a decade to accumulate. Suddenly, the king screams in agony as a glowing purple device activates on his chest, causing him intense pain. The man in glasses mocks him calmly, claiming he dislikes violence. But his sinister smile says otherwise as the king writhes in pain, still shackled by the energy. The man in glasses tosses aside a broken artifact and casually mentions it's time to leave. He warns that any more delay might upset his mysterious partners. A princess rushes in, crying out in worry as she finds her father. The king, collapsed on the floor, bruised and barely conscious. The king urgently tells her to leave, clearly terrified for her safety. But she hesitates, torn between obeying and staying to help. Ignoring his warning, the princess clenches her glowing purple hands in front of her chest. One of the invaders mocks the situation, realizing the princess also holds high value. He seizes her from behind with glowing energy hands as she struggles in fear. She is forcefully abducted through a beam of light. Her cries for help echo as the king desperately reaches out, screaming for them to return his daughter. The ship speeds away into deep space, leaving her home planet behind as it heads toward destination. Now aboard a spacecraft, the princess is seen bound and suspended. Inside the spaceship, the man in glasses checks on his ally, Ghost, through a video call. Ghost appears on the screen, asking calmly what the issue is. Ghost explains that the life signal they were tracking has vanished unexpectedly. However, the ship they were monitoring hasn't moved from its location. Meanwhile, in the dreamscape, Lu Shen stands among ruins. He realizes that this space is actually the interior of the cosmic seed, and everything except this broken battlefield has been erased. Lu Sheng stands in a meditative stance, glowing with radiant energy. He reflects on how everything from the past, once shattered by his master, has now been transformed and merged into his martial path. Within the system's core, several red holographic data modules appear containing techniques, resources, and predictive tools. These are remnants of the original database, which has now evolved and grown even stronger without the need to maintain any false projections. Lu Sheng explains that the database now taps directly into the source of the universe itself. Previously, predictions were incomplete because his access level was too shallow, and the data lacked depth. Now, however, he possesses the full potential of this planetary seed. Although it only represents a microscopic fraction of the universe's total power, it's still the foundation needed to write the first 1 inch after an infinite string of zeros. Lu Sheng reflects that to reach the 16th foundational level and truly refine the essence of the universe, he must first master the core energy of this cosmic seed. He recalls how far he's come from a street sweeper at a base to someone now capable of shaping planets. His current goal is to refine an entire star, expanding his strength across the galaxy. He stands alone in space, surrounded by planets. Even after absorbing the full energy of one, he acknowledges how small that is in the scale of the universe. If he ever expands further, he may alter the fate of galaxies. With a confident grin, Lu Sheng clenches his fist. He believes that one day, he may truly embody the meaning of the word martial Tao itself.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.